Clobro, who's been a member of the community for a very long time, and he does a lot of good work with putting out information. And if you want to kind of keep up on what's going on, he puts a lot of stuff out. But he put out this post the other day, okay? Basically, after the dust had settled from all the other pieces of news that came out, and then Sarah Bond really made it where it's like it just kind of made sense and kind of put all the bullshit to rest. So Clobro put out a tweet, and the reason we're not singling out Clobro. I feel like he's representing a big group of people who were wishy washy, or were just afraid or nervous or upset, and they're finally kind of to see the light again.
The dust settled.
So Clobro wrote, "Lads, between this lineup this year and next year, Xbox Game Pass drops, Xbox Game Showcase, promising hardware plans, plus backward compatibility. I slowly start to feel that energy again." And look, I think the reality is,
I see your comment right under.
Oh my, well, I mean, I couldn't just let him. I had to say something, right? So
That's hilarious.
I'll let him know. Glad to have you back on the right side of history, right? Welcome back, sir. I mean, but I honestly feel this, right? We are on the right side of history, right? I think when we all look back, I think all the bullshit, all the crying, all the talking shit was all for nothing. Like, I want to be clear. Like, I think I quote tweeted this and said something else, but I'll say it here. I want to be clear. Like, all that crying, all the threats of leaving, all the threats of saying, well, if you don't respect our console, whatever, I'll just go somewhere else. Like, all the bullshit, none of that mattered at all. Xbox didn't flinch. They did not backtrack. They did not change. If anything, they pushed the throttle further. They went further with it. They took it beyond where we were thinking it was even going to go.
Yeah.
And I respect the fuck out of Xbox for not buckling, right? Because previous Xbox
they have before.
has buckled in the past. Oh, you're raising the price of Game Pass $1? No. Or was it Xbox Live at the time? It's like, calm the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what they've done, and they've buckled. Xbox One generation, we talk about it all the time. Listen, factually, it needed to happen because what came from it was better than we would have ever imagined. But in that timeline, they were offering something unique. They were offering something special. We could have possibly been further along with a lot of the stuff that we're getting now if they would have stuck to their guns originally with the cloud powering the console. Like, we saw demonstrations, bro. Like, the shit was real. They tried to make fun of it, but we saw Crackdown 3 when it was being shown, the multiplayer aspect where you were playing on the Xbox One, but they had the power of like 15 Xbox Ones hopping on to help with the destruction. And it was some of the most amazing destruction, especially for that time. And it's like there was so much that was coming, and they had to shut it all down and backtrack it. And they screwed a lot of companies over, right? They had their Connect in there that was going to be like, look at where we are now with every fucking device that's out here watching you. If you have a Google Home or an Amazon fucking the big thing, like we have all these things in the house that are always watching you and fucking listening to you, right? But because they put the Connect in the box and the price had to go higher, they backtracked all this shit. Who knows where they would have been with that? They could have had a device that just sits there and does better than all these other things that are out here, right? But like they buckled in the past and they didn't buckle now. And they stuck it out, and they showed us that they are going forward in a way that's not only great for them as a company, but also for us as gamers, for developers, right, who are making these games, and for the industry as a whole, right? They're really pushing things forward. And all these other people that you see out here who still trying to hold on to it or still trying to throw console sales numbers into the equation and all this bullshit, like those people are going to be left behind, right? They're going to be left behind and they're going to be forgotten because there's no place for them. There's no place for them because gaming is moving to a new frontier, right? This is just what's happening. All right. Doesn't matter how you access your games, you're playing the games. The games are front and center. The games are what brought us all here together, right? Why we're all here is because of the games that we love. We share that love of games, and we share the love of Xbox made games. And they are going to be the ones who are pushing everything forward. All the games that are going to be the biggest, best games out there outside of your Call. Well, actually, shit, they own Call of Duty. Goddamn. I was gonna say it's outside Call of Duty, but they own that. Outside of Fortnite, maybe, and Roblox, right? Are all Xbox games, bro. All Xbox games. And one of the things we've always known was that the biggest games in the world were always multi-platform, right?
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Just what's always have been. And now Xbox is finally positioning themselves to take their games and put them out into the world in a way where so many more people are going to be able to experience them, that they're actually going to have chances to take you know, these IP and turn them into more, right? They're going to be able to do that, and everybody's going to experience more. This is honestly a phenomenal thing. And then as for as long I've been gaming for as long as I can remember, and I've always looked for what was next and what was going to come. I was always excited by gaming, right? I've always been excited by gaming. It's the thing that excites me the most outside of my life with my family. When it comes to like hobbies and things like that, like this is the dopest shit to me, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't the other tech in the world is cool, but like this tech is the shit that gets me excited. Like I can't wait to see what they're gonna do next, right? And and they are the ones we picked the winning side all those years ago, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know it, right? We stood through all the bullshit, right? All the being at the bottom of the barrel, not having as many games, right? Not having EA on our platform until they finally got them, right? Like all these things that took place that we stuck through, and now we have the company who's producing our games in our box, and they're the ones who are just pushing the industry forward. And we are the ones who get Xbox Play Anywhere, where we could buy a game once and get it access anywhere we want. Like this Game Pass is just such a fucking force that's going to continue to grow. Like there's just so much that we're getting now, and I'm so glad to see people finally seeing that after all the bullshit and the crying, right? After
Yeah.
all the nonsense that you put out there, imagine if your nonsense stuck. Imagine if you guys had the power you thought you had and cause Microsoft and Xbox to hesitate and to say, fuck it, we're not
Pump
going to
the
do it,
brakes. Yeah.
right? Imagine that world. Are you shitting me? Come on, man. Thank God that you guys are weaker than you thought. Thank God your voice don't mean shit outside of your bubble. Thank God Microsoft finally looked at y'all and said, fam, you're a fan. If you're not a fan, that's okay. But we make the decisions here. You don't. You get to decide whether you want to stick around. Fine. But we make the decisions and we know what's best. And look at them fucking doing it, bro. They're fucking crushing it.
Yeah.
They are creating this new world, this new form of gaming where you're no longer limited and have to make that hard choice. You can now just say, I will buy what game I want to buy and play it wherever the fuck I want to play it. And the last stragglers are going to have to piss or get off the pot, because at some point they're becoming a smaller and smaller niche, and the world is not going to care about those people. It's like the people who just want to watch movies on Blu-ray players. Okay, it exists, but the world doesn't cater to you, right? Even though I'm now part of that group because we got some dope ass shit and we do use it, but I know the world doesn't cater to us, right? Because it just is what it is. You're always going to be that
Yeah.
small
You
segment.
can't walk into a store anymore and like just pick up movies, right? It's crazy. And it's funny because that you brought that up because you and Madman went to see that movie Sinners.
We did.
And it like supposedly is so good.
It is amazing.
And it's available digitally, and we're waiting it out.
We're literally
We're
waiting.
waiting it
We
out,
would have
Huggy.
bought
This is
it, but
your
we're
fault,
waiting
Huggy.
for the 4K. All right, you did this, Hargeet.
Waiting for the disc.
You did it.
Like, we gotta hold off. We can't
That
watch
man's like,
it like
listen,
this.
this is the movie. We gotta watch it 4K. I'm like, God damn, you're right. You're right, bro. We gotta.
Oh my
But
god.
it's the truth. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Um, but
The
you know, I
Connect was freaking fire,
yeah,
by
it
the
was.
way.
It
Like
it was
that
fucking fun.
was it was
Absolutely.
so dope. We had so much fun with
You
the
know,
Connect.
yesterday's show we had I think it was Torino Johnson
Yes.
who wrote a bunch of times that like that Marlin gaming dude. He was you know, we showed a clip of him. It was funny because he was
Yeah,
like,
it
"Oh
was
no,
funny.
PlayStation games are not going to be on the handheld. No, 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 no." And then obviously we know that blew up in his face, right? And Torino Johnson was telling us that he like blew up on PlayStation on his channel because they were not serving the PlayStation players, right? They're not doing what they should be doing for their fans. They're only doing for themselves. Every
Yeah.
headline you see is, oh, you know, listen, as long as they keep spending more money on PlayStation Plus and choosing to pay the higher tiers, we know they got more money to spend. So we're going to raise up the prices for our profitability.
That's crazy.
Imagine Xbox saying some shit like that. That's crazy talk, right? But they don't give a shit because that's all they care about, right? Xbox are the only ones out here still in it for the love of the game. Even though they're getting the money, they're still in it for the love of the game. The both things can be true, right? Because they're showing you, right? They're finding ways to make it work so that they can keep giving us what they want to give us, which is games, games, and games, right? And allowing us to access those games however we want. That's a phenomenal, phenomenal thing that Xbox is doing. What do you guys think? I mean, have you noticed outside of this? Like, babe, what do you think about these guys, you know, finding their way back after all the bullshit?
I mean, the road is like right there. You know what I mean? There's no other road to take. I feel like it's just so spelled out. Um, and you're right, they caused so much freaking chaos that it could have. I'm just glad that it didn't work out because they were ready to like just destroy the brand. They came out here, Phil, Matt, and Sarah. They said their piece and they moved forward with the plan. Thank goodness, because look at where we are now, and it's like undeniable. Even freaking PlayStation grabbed a brush and started painting the way for us, right? They were like, "Listen, we're not doing well." So it just all kind of gelled together, and it could not have blown up in their faces in any better freaking way. Our boy Faro is in the building.
Pharaoh was
And
good, my
listen,
brother.
I gotta read this message. He says, fuck Pabs, Gallopers, and pony bots. I
Facts.
mean, that's all there is to it, right? The crying, the bullshit, the pabbing.
Dude, if it was up
It,
to them, it would all
yeah,
have burnt down.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? If it
yes.
was up to them, Xbox would be dead and gone because they put some games on PlayStation and now they fucking run that shit, bitch. They
Yes.
fucking took PlayStation by the fucking balls and ripped that shit
Drag
off and
them,
said this shit's
drag them.
ours now. Come on, man.
And that's what's crazy because to not see that that was a power move, to understand the fact that PlayStation has no games coming out and they can't get it together. Like they came out here, and as much as the developers didn't want to hear it and they wanted to self-soothe, it didn't mean that we couldn't see the issues that were going on over there, right? So for Phil to not go ahead and say, let me put some games over there and start taking their money, right? And it not be seen in that way because there's no other way to see it. They're down bad. They have no games. Now we're going to rob you blind. We're going to take your freaking players. We're going to make your boxes work for us. How can you not see what they were doing? That was not weakness in any way. That was a here. I am embracing my power. I'm a freaking monster, right? And I'm going to go ahead and get my money from my freaking platform, and I'm going to take your bitch too. I'm going to put your gallopers to work for me. Like your whole fan base, you don't know what to feed them. I have the games to give to them. and everything's an Xbox, including that PlayStation. Those PlayStations are Xboxes. They're buying Xbox games. That's their store, making them money. It was so crazy and mind blowing that they took that stand, right? That power move was insane. Yeah, to go ahead and say you don't know what to feed your players, but we do,
Yep.
and we're gonna take their money, and they show up for Xbox games, the premium freaking edition of these games, and they're pimped out on that store just like if they were first party games. That's wild, bro.
Big
You
time.
can't just show up and run it like that. And Xbox was able to do that shit.
100%. All right, Demo, what about you, brother? What do you
Oh
think? This,
man,
the big comeback from all the deflectors.
we knew that we're gonna come back, bro. Because I mean, at the end
Mhm.
of the day, all these Sony PlayStation fans, all these people, all these all of these Xbox haters, they just like, at the end of the day, they're customers. They gamers. As a gamer, you really wanna play all as many games as you can possibly play. You know, so the fact that Xbox got the content is gonna overturn any exclusivity, any shady shit that Sony PlayStation can do at this point, right? Because at the end of the day, what really matters is the games, right? We already established that. And Sony PlayStation fanboys, they can go back on their word, they can go back on their, moving on the goalposts and all that, but they did it to themselves, right? There's a clip around about, Colin Moriarty saying that this is one of the best generations ever for Sony PlayStation, and then the reason why people are not giving a
Oh,
damn
oh,
about
oh.
Sony PlayStation output, or what games Sony PlayStation has is because their first party studios are not producing. Okay, yeah, we understand that, but this is not how we play this game. This game is being played based on first party output, first party. Y'all established that because I mean, back in the Xbox One era, Xbox was also getting games, right?
Tons of games.
Xbox also got all the freaking games that came to PlayStation later on because all the under the table dirty deals that Sony PlayStation has done. So now Xbox found a way to turn everything into an Xbox. So it's kind of ironic that they started the campaign with everything is an Xbox. Sony PlayStation started making fun of it, but look, they jinxed themselves because the reality is everything is gonna be an Xbox, and deal with it or quit gaming, change hobbies because you're gonna see a lot of Xbox, in is they make it this bastard. Get out of here. You're gonna see a lot of Xbox now from now on. We're seeing now with the meta, which is like kind of crazy. Who in the hell seen that coming? We see it with the portable. We see it with like things like in the Fire Stick. We're seeing on a freaking Samsung freaking fridge. It is every fucking where, dude. This thing is taking over. And it's not only, and this is what we said, the Xbox goes beyond the plastic box. We're talking about an ecosystem, well-established ecosystem with a bunch of options and a lot of freedom, and it's gonna rock, man. And I'm happy for Xbox that they finally found their footing and they really stopped giving a shit about what these you know fanboys wanted. If it was up to for the hardcore Xbox dudes, this would have never happened. They realize like, okay, these people are not the majority of the people, right? This is just a bubble on Twitter, on Reddit, and some
Exactly.
channels. And at the end of the day, they do not represent what most of the gamers want, which is connect with each other, be able to, operate and play games in a free environment that they don't have to worry about like, oh shit, I have to buy this game 3 times because, I'm not in my setup. So they want you to go ahead and game, spend as much time as gaming as you can possibly do it. And right now I think they're nailing it. They're making me play more games than ever. They doing this by having great options and great offerings with Game Pass, which is still, in my opinion, the best deal in gaming. And they also doing it by allowing me to play and continue the progress that I have in these games, throughout multiple devices, which also increases my screen time playing these games. Because I mean, how many times you wanted to play a game and you don't have your shit with you? You're like, oh shit, I wish I did, but here you go, here it come. I can log in anywhere, bro. I literally go to my brother-in-law setup, right? And I log in with my Xbox account. Everything is in there, bro. And it's his setup. It has nothing to do with me. I just have to log in with my account. That's it. Game Pass, all the games pop, all my achievements, everything that I want to do with my account is there. So the fact that they're extending this even further, all the way to, um, you know, to having Steam and Epic and all the storefronts, it just makes me even happier that I'm gonna be even better connected. And hopefully Xbox can bring those people on board too to do the same thing. To to allow you to utilize, in your games when you buy once, that's it. You don't have to, buy it 3 or 4 times. And I think that's the way it should be, man. And we shouldn't be asking questions like how in the hell Xbox is gonna make money. Like this is fucking
Thank
dumb. I,
you.
I
Not a
hear a
fucking
lot of people
problem.
asking like how are they making money. Don't worry about it. If there's anything that Sony that Microsoft knows how to do is make money, bro. These motherfuckers, they really know how to squeeze the coins out of your pocket. So I'm telling you, man, straight up, don't worry about this shit. Don't worry about whether Game Pass is sustainable. Don't worry about who in the hell is keeping the servers of the cloud up, who's giving them maintenance, and how we gonna combat piracy. Stop being nerds, bro. Nobody gives a shit. Like literally, like nobody gives a shit if somebody else is pirating the games. That's the problems of the developers. Do better anti-malware software. Like better anti-cheat and shit like that. That's not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xbox problem. That's not your problem. That's these people making these games. They really had to step it up and stop the bullshit that's going on with cheating and all this shit. So other than that,
Agreed.
I feel like
Agreed.
they're on the
Oh
right
my
track.
gosh.
They're on the right track, man. I'm happy. I'm happy with what we're
Absolutely.
getting.
You are says
What do you
that
say?
ponies are accountants now.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad
Mhm.
accountants, bad. They don't know.
Hey,
They
look
don't
at
know
the
what they're doing.
picture.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo, what's up with that, Simone?
Yeah.
Kind of like
Well,
zesty in there.
they got us. They got
Oh
us
my
good.
god.
They got me good a few times. He actually has a few other little pieces here, and then we'll get into Hargeet. Clute says Xbox fans were upset at first, but didn't see the game Phil was playing. Microsoft wanted to kill Xbox thrice in the past. He solved it by making Xbox too big to ever get killed, giving up their own exclusives in exchange for getting more first-party funds and getting Steam. Clover says my stance on exclusives, at least timed, has not changed. Having said that, I've moved on. I can see their vision. So seeing the vision is all that's necessary, right? That's what you should have done from the beginning. But Dark Series says, you're telling me you weren't feeling that energy all this time with all the games in Game Pass? Come on now.
Exactly.
Clover says, I did, but Xbox created serious doubts on their own platform future for my taste. Most of that changed by now, and I start to see their vision. My personal confidence in Xbox as a platform is growing again, and that wasn't the case for the past year or so, as expressed publicly. And I think, and again, listen, obviously everybody's entitled to their own stuff, but we've said it so many times how disheartening it is to see people who supposedly are Xbox people,
Mhm.
right, have their whole fan base because of Xbox, not because of you. Like,
Mhm.
understand, like you did cool stuff, but if you were doing this for Stadia, you wouldn't have a fan base. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Top notch,
damn.
So
Simone.
Yes.
Yeah.
understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like you're copy and pasting shit and putting
Yeah.
it on the tweet, right? Like
Mhm.
you're taking shit from a press release and putting it in a tweet. Like you're a aggregator of news, right? So like limit your idea of how big you are, right?
Yeah.
Um, I think that's just the thing that always got me with these people. That being said, Hargeet, I mean, are you getting that sense too? You're not on social media, so
I'm
it's
not on social media, right?
unique
So
from you. So do
uh,
you see YouTube? Do you see what we're seeing here, or is this like news to you that people are coming back?
I mean, did people really leave? Like the main issue
Well,
is people
at
get
least their
ticked off,
their
right?
voice
And
on it, right? Like the
yeah,
opinions have
and so
changed, right?
they're being negative, right? And
Mhm.
like it was always a thing of like, what's negative or why is it negative? Like I guess like of all the like the people in my circle, I still maintain that I don't I don't see this being negative. I think everything they've done is the right path, right? I always said they were going to go multi-plat. That was going to happen. It was just a question of when, right? It just made sense, right? It's just how much content do you have? And this is kind of where they've put themselves, where it's like all we ever talk about is Xbox, whether it's positive or negative, right? And
Facts.
are we really talking about PlayStation? Like, are PlayStation people talking about PlayStation, or are they talking about Xbox? Because like, what if they're talking about PlayStation, they're talking about where are my games? What is PlayStation doing? That's what they're talking about. Was the live service switch a bad idea? Yes, it was. Like, they just admit it and move on, right? Like, they've literally canceled more games than released in this generation. That's what they've done. That's PlayStation for you. Like, is that what you want? It's not the PlayStation of old. This is not the 90s and early 2000s PlayStation. It's just not. It's not that PlayStation, right? This is a totally different PlayStation. All the leadership has changed, and now they're focusing on, well, they have to make money because they've been failing on doing that. So this is like, all those folks that were kind of, and shout out to Glover. He's a great dude. And like, Glover, next year, please come on out. Let come back to LA again. Let's have fun. Let's have fun.
He's a fan again. He's a fan again.
Let's have fun, bro.
After the showcase, so now he's a fan again. Now he can come hang out, right?
And I have like these conversations with like various folks and like within the friend circle of the community people, and some are still kind of on the like, oh well, the they've given up, and I'm like, no, they've taken over. It's not about it's.
Like,
and I don't know. I feel differently than they do.
Yeah. How does that come about in your mind?
I just feel differently than they do because I could see the path, right? And apparently I was the reason Tim Dog decided to switch, and I'm like, dude,
you the reason, Hargy?
I'm the reason.
So much pain.
He mistook what I said, right? And I'm like, because I said, look, if they don't do certain things and they go down this path now, the next gen console will not get a lot of games from other publishers because it just won't get that many sales. However, here are the ways they fix it, which is literally the stuff they're doing, which is first you have to have enough first party content that people just associate with you. And you're like, oh crap, look at the showcase. I got to have an Xbox. Look at all the stuff they have, right? Even if it's everywhere, it doesn't even matter. It's just the fact that people associate it with you, right? And then the second one was you have to start taking advantage of your superpower, which is Windows, and start bringing those stores, because that eliminates the problem. I don't care now. I can buy it on Steam. It doesn't matter if it doesn't come to the Xbox console because I can just buy it on Steam and play it on my console. So I'm done. It doesn't matter to me at that point, right? Now I don't care how many platforms you put it on. It's irrelevant. You're giving me my content. My Game Pass keeps getting fed, and I can play every game. Where's the downside? On top of that, you're making it so it's an open ecosystem and anybody else can come in and make a more powerful version of an Xbox console. Yes, sign me up. Where's the downside? So I've been like on the path of like, this is great. And some people went down the path of I can't console war. And I'm like, I don't care about the console war. I care about playing my games. Like, what? Why is this a problem? This is why, like, if you liked, Donkey Kong, you like that. Play the game, have fun, enjoy. That's the whole purpose of this. We should all be loving the fact that we like to enjoy and play games. And so, I don't care what platform it's on, play it. So I've always pushed back against the stupid pony narratives. I don't like those narratives. That's the stupidity. Like, Xbox has no games, really? Like, where are your games now? Like, you're in the same situation we were in Xbox One. And like you were telling us we had no games. We're like, but all these third parties are putting games on the console. I'm playing games. I got Game Pass. I'm also getting games in that. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm playing games. Like, no, that's not good enough. It needs to be first party. All right. Well, where's your first party, bud? Where's your first party?
Dead.
PlayStation.
Dead and gone.
Dead and gone. They're in the worst.
It's like, so I'm disappointed that people got to this level. But like, guys, this is not our identity. We're not like, I'm not Xbox. I just enjoy the platform. That's it. It's like we should just be having fun.
I mean, if you want to watch pockets, I think the pockets who watch our PlayStations, you understand how much money they've lost. It's insane.
But they'll tell you that
especially with Concord, things like that.
Ever.
Oh my god!
And it's like so you guys must be $1 trillion company now.
It's like the conversation. cannot be had, right? Is
Mm.
that a conversation they want to start out?
Now, real quick, let me get Steve O here real fast because
Steve-O.
he is dropping the bars. We might be giving a little too much credit. Steve O says it's only
Maybe.
because it's undeniable now, and they'll look stupid.
And
if
again,
they
I'm not going to call anybody
talk
names,
to
whatever, but
shit.
like I just think they got into too much of a feeling of this is very
Yep.
big change without
Emotional
understanding
damage.
where the change is going, right? And
Yeah.
like if you analyze the market, it was like, dude, they have to change because look at the next generations and what they're doing. You have to adapt to the market that's there.
Listen to
And if you
PlayStation.
don't,
They
right?
still are figuring it out. If everything was so beautiful, if it was all
Why do they put their games on
rainbows and
PC?
butterflies, what is gonna figure out? We're gonna make PlayStation 6. That's it. We'll make a new console.
Yeah.
That's it. It's done. Why do they have to figure anything out? Because the world
Yeah,
has shifted underneath their feet.
Exactly. And
They
they're
thought they were standing on
years
firm ground.
behind.
It's gone.
They're just several years behind what Xbox is doing, and they don't have the bank that Xbox has behind it to be able to do things like drop $70 billion. They just can't do that.
Yep.
So the viability of them being able to make the same moves, if they had the money, don't tell me they wouldn't have bought Roblox. They would have bought it because it's just a money printing machine for kids, right? Why not? They would just buy it. They don't have that kind of cash. That's the problem. They don't have it. Right. So if they wanted to do that kind of thing,
it's just so bad.
Yeah, they don't have good leadership.
And like, and tell me they wouldn't want to buy Fortnite. 100% they would, and that would be in the same range. Like they just can't afford it. That's the problem, right?
Yep.
Microsoft can make those decisions because they have the cash. They can do it, right? So Xbox has that backing, right? So they can play different market positions than PlayStation can, but it doesn't matter. They're not trying to wipe out PlayStation. They moved past PlayStation. It's like, no, you're a partner. We want to go compete with Amazon and Apple and Google.
Big dogs,
you're this nice little multi-hundred billion, whatever. You're over here. We're talking the trillionaires. We're not talking billionaires.
So, sit at this table.
Right, but it's just 100%. It's facts, right? That they're more concerned about them entering in the market and disrupting it. Which, by the way, I think is good. Anybody else wants to enter the market and disrupt it, that's awesome. Please do so, right? But do so in a way that's good for us as the consumer. If you're not doing anything, then we will, like Amazon has tried, and they're kind of edging in. And Google tried with Stadia, you just mentioned it, and failed miserably, right? Because the market's like, I don't like this plan, sorry. And no, away it goes, right? So do so in a way that works, right? Meta's been trying with a long time with trying to get into the VR space, and they've been buying up some content and stuff. Hey, cool. If you can make something work, absolutely do it. If not, whatever, the market will determine, right? It's awesome when there's more disruption. I like it. I keep bringing it up, but I think the AR is going to be the thing that's going to be interesting, right? These are the X-Trail glasses. I think this is going to be pretty interesting when that gets to a point where it works really well. So that could be another thing that comes up and changes things altogether. But Microsoft's positioned to take advantage of it. They don't care. They're like, partner with anybody. We don't care. Absolutely. Let's do it. Right. Whereas PlayStation's kind of in a locked ecosystem mindset, which they're going to have to change. They're just going to have to, if they want to adapt and stay relevant, because they're not putting out games like Nintendo still is. Right. So it just is what it is. So for those kind of folks, like if you're, feeling like there's more energy, that you're finding the enthusiasm again, great. I don't know why you lost it to begin with. Playing games, bro.
Exactly.
So enjoy. I love it. Come on back. Let's go. Like I always invite the PlayStation guys. You like throw mud at us. Fine. Come and talk to us. Let's have dinner. I don't think we care that much to be at odds with each other. We just want to play games. So I think it's better to just open the lines of communication and change the mindset, which is why I just don't attack people. I don't like attacking anybody. I was like, hey, let's talk. We're all about gaming. Let's talk. Let's have fun. Let's share the experiences. That's the point of this. So if they're feeling it again, that's awesome. Clobril, come on back out, man. Let's have you at next E3, Full 3, whatever the hell you want to call it. Come out to Community Fan Fest. Let's have you back here in LA, man. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope more and more people do, and they feel the enthusiasm again. The platform is at its best. I think Colt put out a video recently saying people can poo-poo it all they want, but like Xbox is
Yeah.
killing it. There's just
Yeah.
no way to look at it any other way. They're killing it. Everything is going like
They've been
awesome.
killing it though.
They
So,
have
like
been,
they've been
exactly.
killing
It's
it
funny
though.
because
They're
this
killing it.
happened when they were ramping
Yeah.
up with all the games, and Game
Yeah.
Pass was, going to a place where it's never had been before. And it's like, what was taken from you? What
Nothing.
was taken
Nothing.
from
It was
you?
just tears and
It's
crying.
just
My
it's such, yes,
exclusives.
it's
Yeah,
such a
yeah,
Yeah, a
yeah.
That's
lot
it.
of
It
it's
was
such a
console war
personal
stuff
thing.
is what's
Yeah.
taken away
Yeah.
from you.
Agreed,
That's it.
baby.
It's
Yeah.
literally the only thing, right?
It's
Because you
performative,
don't
a
get
lot
to
of
play
it
this.
too.
You know what
Right.
this means? You know what this means? That these people are just as bad as the ponies. The only
Facts.
reason you
Exactly.
engage in the conversation is so that you can make fun of ponies. No,
Yeah, and guess
not
what?
me.
You're back on the boat now because now you can make fun of ponies again
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
poo-pooing
No, no,
the
no, 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 no,
situation,
no.
and now you could be like, "Oh, but this is so clear that this is amazing. You guys are just losers, and you get to do it again, right?" It's just the
I
way
mean,
that the
it's
cycle
worse
goes.
than ponies. Ponies, you
Yeah.
know what you're gonna get, right? You know
Yep.
the nonsense you're going to hear, and these are just unpredictable.
Well,
Where
because
you're
it
like,
exposes
here
them
we go.
for
It's
not being about what they claim to be
Mhm.
about, and
Exactly.
it's just a frustrating thing.